Welcome to the Oven Gleamer's World podcast, helping you navigate oven cleaning as a business, marketing tips, interviews, and AGA cooking tips and news. Now, here's your host, Graham Rogers.
That's Graham Rogers, the founder of Oven Gleamers, the oven cleaning franchise. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about AGA cookers and are you new to them? So, are you new to the AGA cooker? So have you just moved into a house and there's an AGA and you don't really know what to do with it? What are the steps that you should take so that you can start using your AGA? Now, so the first thing I would do is get it cleaned. I'd get a professional oven cleaning company in, such as ourselves, and give it a thorough good clean. The chances are that it's off, it's cold, and that's the really good opportunity to get it cleaned. You can get it cleaned and it will be completely grease-free, and it will make it easier, for example, the service engineer to come in and service the AGA. So that's the next step. So I'd say step number one would be to get it cleaned. Step number two would be to get a service engineer in to get it serviced. So if it's an oil AGA, it will need a service, and if you've moved into a house with an oil AGA, I'd say the first thing you need to do is go outside and check the level on the oil tank, because there's a good chance that the previous owner, the person moving out of the house, has let the oil level go right down, and there may not be much oil in the tank. And you need to check it and make sure that because if it gets too low, then you will start getting the bits and pieces from the bottom of the tank, especially if it's a metal tank. So that may be the third step is to make sure you've got the right fuel, and you get it delivered. I think what I would do is, if you get it serviced, the service engineer, especially on oil AGA, should be able to tell you the suppliers that people use locally, because I'm not really sure if this is true, but I've heard that depending on which delivery service you get, it may affect the purity of the oil, because some companies have got tankers with dual tanks, which means they say, for example, go to a farm and deliver red diesel, and then they go into a house and deliver the oil, and they use the same pipe, so without flushing it through. So you may get impurities from another fuel from the same tanker. So, and if you get the engineer in, he'd be able to say, well, I know that everybody uses this company because they've got a very good reputation of delivering on time and in all weathers, and nobody has any problem with their fuel. So number two, get it serviced. Number three, get the fuel. So get the oil in, and if it's electricity, if it's not ordinary 13 amp one, obviously you don't need to do anything because it's plugged into the mains. But if it's running on 30 amp, so say it's a 30 amp AGA, then you would need to just ensure that the Comedy 7, the timer on the AGA, there'll be a timer next to the AGA, is switching over to the switches the AGA on to heat it up overnight on the Comedy 7. So you need to make sure it's switching on at the right times. I know, for example, with our AGA, our 30 amp AGA, that sometimes we get the timing right, it comes on too early, which means obviously you'll be paying the normal rate electricity cost, which is very high in the daytime, rather than the very cheap overnight electricity. So as I said, I make sure I get all the fuel sorted out. Then the next step, I would go and buy some pans. So the chances are the previous owner hasn't left you with any pans. They would have taken them with them. They probably moved into another house with an Aga, so they've taken all their pans with them. And you also may find that the racks are missing of actually cleaning Agas, where the metal racks which fit on the slots in the ovens are completely missing, and obviously it makes it really difficult to cook, because the way you change the temperature in the ovens in the Aga is by moving the food into different positions, by putting the rack on the different numbered slots as it comes down. Starts at the top, goes down, so number one rack positions at the top and comes down. So if it hasn't got a rack or racks, you need to go and buy some. I'd say the best place to buy some would be just go into eBay and look for some there, or I think I've seen them on Amazon as well. Go into Amazon or go into your local Aga shop. They sell them there. So I'd get that sorted out first, the racks. Then the next thing I would do is to buy something to use for cooking. I've got a cast iron frying pan, which is I've used like ever since I've had it. It's like really good. It's a small cast iron frying pan. I think you call it. It's around about 9 inches, I would say, and I find that very useful. And the other thing I'd look at would be quite a big baking tray. You can get them. They're about the width of the Aga oven wide by the length of the Aga oven in length, so they fit into the oven exactly on the runners. We use ours all the time for roasting vegetables, so it's very useful. And the other thing which goes with that are smaller roasting trays, and those smaller roasting trays are the ones we've got are they're like flat trays, and originally we bought them as anodized aluminium, and they didn't really last very long, because we put them in the dishwasher to clean, and over a period of time the anodized aluminium was completely destroyed, because you can't really put anything which is aluminium based into the dishwasher. So we replaced them with enamel ones, and although they're heavier, they wash really well in the dishwasher. And what we do, we get oven liner. We buy oven liner and we cut it to size, and we use that to line the trays. So when we use a big tray, we use a big piece of oven liner, and when we use the smaller ones, we use the liner cut in half. So that works really well. And the other thing you need are some pans. I'd go for the proper Aga pans, and the proper Aga pans have got like a recessed top. So the ones we've got they've got a handle on each side, and on the top it's got like a recessed lid. And I get a set of those. They're not cheap. It's going to be a couple £100 I would have thought for the 3 of them, but they're really useful. And the reason they're good is because you can stack them, because the knob on the lid is recessed. You can stack them in the oven, which makes it really useful for arranging the oven when you're cooking. And the other thing we've got is we've got a large frying pan. Now the one we've bought isn't an Aga one. We just bought it in we bought it in Costco actually. A large Teflon non-stick pan with a lid. I've actually seen them in Sainsbury's recently, so you could get one in any shop that sells cookware. and we found that very useful. In fact, we've been meaning to get another one, so one or two of those would be very useful for cooking. The other thing I'd get is an AGA toaster. Obviously for toasting, they're very good, and you get the classic AGA toast with the lines across. The other thing I'd buy would be chef pads. Now, chef pads are bits of cotton pads which go on the top of the AGA lids. And they're useful because it means that when you take stuff out of the oven, you can put, if you've got the chef pads on the top of the dome lids, it means you can take stuff out of the oven and you can put them straight onto the top of the lids without scratching the lids. Without chef pads, to do that, it obviously depends on the state of your lids. If the AGA's quite an old AGA and the lids are completely scratched and dented, then obviously you can take stuff out of the oven and put it on the lid, and it wouldn't matter that much, except they may get greasy. But for my AGA, for example, I've kept the chrome domes completely immaculate, not scratched. We've had the AGA now for 7.5 years, and the way I've kept them perfect is by having the chef's pads on the top of the chrome domes. So I'd get those, get a couple of those. They're really useful. And I think that would be like, if you get all those, that would be the basic kit you really need to do cooking on the AGA. And the next thing I would do is learn how to use the AGA. Now, you can buy the Mary Berry book. That's the one I always recommend to people. The Mary Berry AGA book. And you could also go to cooking demonstrations locally at your local AGA shop. They're very good. You learn stuff so quickly if you go to those demonstrations. They take you through the way of using the AGA, the way you move things around on the AGA. From, for example, the way you cook potatoes by bringing them to the boil first on the boiling plate, and then draining them off, and then putting them in the simmering oven to steam. And when I found that out, I thought that was one of the best things ever, and we've done that ever since. Anyway, so that's Graham Rogers from Oven Gleamers, the oven cleaning company. And until next time, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Oven Gleamers World Podcast. If you have enjoyed it, please subscribe. Please tell all your friends and join us for our next episode.